And welcome back to the Sooner Surge. Today it's just me and Brody with a little bit of 2025 recruiting talk, specifically the wide receiver room. This is a room right now. They got three four-star receivers, three highly ranked, highly touted guys in Jaden Nickens, Elijah Thomas, and Grayson Harris. And there's a few other guys that are options and that are kind of expected to be Sooners in this wide receiver class. One being Isaiah Mosey. He's a legacy. His dad played at OU, Lee Summit North, four-star receiver. The four stars that they have, Mosey included, he's uncommitted, but of all the receivers that they currently have, and then the other ones they're going after on the four-star rating, they're all five-star potential receivers. If the rankings are, we're what, 15 months away from early signing day for 2025. So there's a lot of ranking updates to be released before it's all said and done. So the guys that the Sooners already have committed very well could be five stars. But last night, a big one, five-star Caleb Cunningham. OU extended an offer to him. Brody, you want to tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get into it. I've been in contact with Caleb. But before we go ahead and get started, make sure if you haven't already, make sure to click the subscribe button. We're bringing these daily videos to you all the time. Also, we've got Sooner Surge Unlimited. That'll be in the comments. If you're interested, go check it out. But yeah, like Hunter alluded to, Caleb Cunningham was offered last night, and that's a big one. I mean, he's number 11 in the country in the composite rankings, and he's, five-star already. He like 2 weeks ago, he put out a tweet about Emmett Jones, and that was originally what I was like, okay, maybe Oklahoma has been in contact with Cunningham. So I hit him up, and he said, yes, in fact, they've been in contact. Last night he gets back to me, and he says that they've offered. So, yeah, this is a huge offer. I can say right now that he is going to visit Oklahoma at some point. Doesn't have the date set yet, but Caleb Cunningham will visit. So, this top 11 kid, five-star, that's a big one, out of Mississippi. He's a, very good wide receiver that you're not going to pass up if you get the chance. So it'll be interesting to see. It's definitely a dogfight for that recruitment. This is not one that you can just expect Oklahoma to waltz into and win. It's not an in-state kid. So it'll be interesting to see how Oklahoma goes about it, knowing that they already have three wide receivers committed in Grayson Harris, Elijah Thomas, and Jaden Nickens. And then they also have Isaiah Mosey, who that seems like it's an Oklahoma-Missouri battle. And then there's Andrew Marsh. There's some other guys in there too. So it's going to be interesting to see how Oklahoma handles that wide receiver position in 25.
Yeah, with Caleb Cunningham, he's from, I believe, Choctaw County, Mississippi. Yeah. So how big of a factor is Ole Miss in that recruitment?
Yeah, Ole Miss, from what I got to gauge, it doesn't seem like he has a leader right now. And Ole Miss, I haven't heard much on them. Not going to lie. But I do know that last week he was at Mississippi State. So I think Mississippi State is more the one to watch. But Ole Miss also, those are the in-state teams. So Ole Miss and Mississippi State, those are two teams definitely to keep an eye on. He has visited Ole Miss already. So week 1, he visited Ole Miss for a game day. Week 2, he visited Mississippi State. So those kind of like are the two schools that have been, pushing him or being the most in contact with him yet, just because those are two schools he's visited. But he's going to try to visit Oklahoma. Mississippi State and Ole Miss, they will probably be hard to beat just because they have the in-state factor. But, yeah, you're going to get him in for a visit, and that's when you hope that Emmett Jones can work his magic and make something happen. But, yeah, Ole Miss definitely a factor in this recruitment, as well as in-state rival Mississippi State.
Yeah, you would have to expect the game day visit is going to happen to OU. Little interested to see which week they can kind of get that worked out. To be honest, OU's home slate this year is not that enticing, especially for a recruit. They're not getting that big-time matchup that OU will get next year when they go to the SEC this year in the home slate. But it's really interesting on how well Emmett Jones has been able to lock down just this wide receiver room in general. Like, people forget he got here in January. 2025's class signing day, early signing day, is over 15 months away, and you're already almost full basically with the 3 4 stars you have in Jaden Nickens, Elijah Thomas, and Grayson Harris. And he's not done. I mean, he's sending out offers to the number 11 player in the country, Caleb Cunningham. Marsh is still out there. Isaiah Mosey, he's another one that you would expect to end up a Sooner at some point. Back to Mosey, there was a lot of talk of the Sooners Under the Stars event in July. Everyone thought, okay, right after that, he's going to take that Oregon visit, and it's going to be wrapped up. It's going to be OU, and it hasn't really happened. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, Brody, kind of what the holdup has been in that recruitment.
Yeah, Mosey, obviously, the buzz out of the Sooners Under the Stars was that event went really well. And now Mosey, he's still uncommitted. I think he might be going to, did I see something on Twitter of him going to Mizzou or something like that one of the past weekends? I think he was at that last game for Mizzou with Williams Nwaneri, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if you can check that real quick. But yeah, Nwaneri, he went to Missouri. We all know Nwaneri and Mosey, good friends. And Mosey went to Missouri, I think, recently. But yeah, it's Oklahoma-Missouri battle. I'm not too worried about Oregon. My thing on this is I think once Mosey gets back on campus is when Oklahoma is really going to, more than likely set that thing straight and, get it back to where it once was. So, I mean, still, Mosey, I'd say he's a little bit of a toss-up. Ultimately, I still think Oklahoma has, the odds in their favor to land him just because, like you mentioned at the start of this video, he's an Oklahoma legacy. So, yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if Oklahoma doesn't land him, but Missouri definitely is making a strong case, and we know what Missouri can do with their NIL game. It is definitely strong. And Mosey, he's a really good wide receiver, and that was on showcase when, Lee Summit North has played this year. Even when they scrimmaged Union, Mosey was, putting in work on Devin Jordan, who's maybe the best in-state or top 5 in the state of Oklahoma in the 2024 class. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it happens, but I do think once Mosey gets back on campus with maybe like Kamori Moore, that's when Oklahoma is really going to swing things back in their favor.
So OU took a relatively large wide receiver class in 2024. It's what? Is it 5 right now that they got currently committed?
Carryon, Reagans,
KJ
Daniels, Zion Carney, then there's one more. Why am I forgetting? Let's see. Yeah, Carryon, Reagans, Carney, KJ Daniels. Is it just 4?
Maybe it is.
No, it's not.
Oh,
Dozie Kanama. Yeah.
There we
so
go.
That's 5 right now. And then Terry Bussey visited the first game of the season. They're still, putting in work there. So they're not done. Maybe not done yet, but 5, when you look around the country, is a large class for wide receivers. And it's lining up to look like maybe they'll take 5 again. I mean, like Emmett Jones, maybe 5 in 2025.
I think if you have 5 elite guys willing to commit, I don't think you're in a position to tell one of them no, or 2 of them no, or however many no that you would have to kind of get I know I would expect 2025 we're back to the 25 scholarship limit. I would think that would be back at that point. So it will be interesting on that part, how you make it all work. But it's something you figure out. Seems like Oklahoma is very willing to figure that out later. Also, they're spreading the ball really well right now. There hasn't really been one guy that has emerged, and we're only 2 games in, other than Angelo Anthony, as just the clear-cut wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, anything like that. The ball's getting spread around a lot, and I think that's really when you get all these elite guys wanting to come play for you, wanting to come play for Kevin Sperry. That's what they're looking for is opportunities.
Yeah, especially look at Oklahoma's wide receiver room right now. there's not many guys. I mean, Drake Stoops will be gone next year, but there's really no one else you point at and you're like, that's a first round, second round draft pick. He'll be gone. That's a senior. There's really not. Like Oklahoma's top guys contributing right now: Andrew Anthony, Jalil Farouk. Obviously, Drake Stoops will be gone. Gavin Freeman, Nick Anderson, Jaden Gibson. Go down the list. They can all come back. And then you mentioned the 5 receivers he has committed right now, and also the 3 in 2025. I mean, he's starting to build real depth in this wide receiver room. And, the wide receiver room at Oklahoma has always been, they've always had top dogs there. They've always had, best of the best at wide receiver. That's exactly where Emmett Jones is bringing this room back to. And he's been the best recruiter on staff thus far, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's why Emmett Jones was hired at OU. He's one of the best recruiters in the country to begin with, the stuff he's been able to do when he was at Kansas, when he was at Texas Tech. And now he's at Oklahoma, a blue blood of college football, bringing in some of the best wide receiver classes we've had. I mean, really since 2019, which looking back on that class didn't really work out, but they had 3 5-stars depending on what recruiting service. So, yeah, 2025 wide receiver room is going to be interesting to see who kind of closes out this class. It's already so good, and we're so far away from signing day, but Emmett Jones isn't slowing down. He's still sending out offers. He's still recruiting these top guys. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to click that subscribe button. Join Sooner Surge Unlimited. You'll get access to our Discord server. You can talk with us. We talk a lot about recruiting in there.
Yeah.
You'll be able to get this knowledge before you'll see it on the YouTube channel. So, as always, click the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Boomer.
Boomer.